Is your third eye blocked or open? And how can you tell the difference? If you are interested in learning a little bit more about the third eye and how to work with it and what can guide you towards having more of an open third eye and one that is balanced with your human life, your ego, and your spirituality, stay tuned with this episode because I'm going to tell you some insights that maybe you haven't heard before about your third eye. Welcome to the Soul Alignment Mentor Podcast. I'm your host, Angie, and I'm inviting you to explore the depths of self-sabotage, limiting mindsets, and the beliefs that hinder our progress in life. Through intuitive messages I receive from my spirit team, I share profound insights to help you live authentically and break free from these limitations. Join me now as we uncover all the keys to living your best life. Welcome back. My name's Angie, and I'm your Soul Alignment Mentor, bringing you intuitive messages from my spirit team to help you align with your most authentic and highest self. So a lot of people in the spiritual community are talking about the third eye and opening the third eye and working with the third eye. But I want to give you a little bit of insight and perspective from kind of a holistic way of looking at working with your third eye and opening your third eye. So from the understanding of your chakra system, which the third eye is a part of the chakra system, is an energy field that you have in your body. It is just one of many. We actually have 114 different chakras within our energy field, in our body, and in our aura as well, which is kind of like outside of our body. One of those examples of being a chakra that's outside of our body would be our crown chakra. The crown chakra is not actually located in our crown, it's located right above our crown. And then we also have a chakra below our feet, below the root chakra, which is the earth chakra, which connects us to the earth. This is why we benefit from being in nature and working with Mother Gaia Earth to heal our body, because when we're connected to that earth chakra, it helps our energetic system and everything to flow more easily within our body. Now, if you do have blocks within your chakras, it's less likely to actually heal some things that you might be struggling with, but healing is always possible when you start working with your energetic field. Now, why does this matter with the ground or with your third eye? Why does it impact your third eye? Why does needing to know that cause your third eye to either be open or blocked? And here's why that is important. If you've been around religion, you may have heard the saying. Some of you may have heard it if you've been in a spiritual community for a while. But if you haven't, there is a saying that is called as below or as above, so below. And this is something that I always thought about when I was in religion as heaven and earth. I always would think about this masculine God kind of ruling over humanity, judging us, deciding if we're good enough. Kind of, he would determine whether we had connections with the higher realms or went to heaven in any kind of way. And then here on earth, we had to live up to a standard in order to be able to go to heaven. That is not what that means. As above, so below is a saying that brings a fluid connection between your higher self and your human self. In so many ways, it's the ego and the spirit working alongside each other. And when we're able to work together with our ego and our spirit, bringing in healing and love, we're able to flow easier through our energy field, which opens us up to our true authentic self. It also opens up our gifts, and it gives us the ability to step into things that we're meant to step into here on earth while we're here. And so we're really kind of living as above, so below, because we're allowing our higher self to guide us in our human experience. But when we're disconnected from our higher self and we're not allowing that part of our true self, our soul, to guide us in our steps forward, we can probably feel confused and frustrated and blocked, and as if we aren't moving forward in life. And that is because our lower chakras play just as big a role in our third eye as the third eye itself. I want you to think about your body in particular, from your heart up. So we have 3 energetic fields that we would mostly work with in our 7 main chakras, from our heart to our crown. So we have our heart, and then above that we go into our throat, our third eye, and then our crown. Now, if you know about the heart is the center of who we are. It is the connection to our divine self. It's the connection to love. It's where we hold the frequency of our soul. And so our heart basically has a second brain in it. It thinks for us and with us. When we are not thinking with our logical brain, we're thinking with our heart. And so pulling our energy down into the heart will help us to make decisions based on our higher self. But that has to go through our third eye and then through our throat down into the heart. So anything from your heart up is connected to your spiritual essence, which is above. Now, below your heart are your lower chakras, and that would be your solar plexus, sacral, and root chakra. And these are what ground you into your humanity. And these are what work with you in creating your identity and the way you move in the world, the way you believe, the manifestations even that you see coming up in your life. So if you grew up in a home that struggled with finances and that you were taught to be fearful that you would never have enough, you probably project that into the world and often see that experience coming back to you. If you struggle with confidence, that means that there was something going on in your solar plexus that needs to be healed and seen. So when we start working with our third eye, and instead of just focusing on opening that part of your chakra energy system, you must focus on everything else as well. Because as above, so below, the below energy is going to impact the above energy. And so if you have not healed the experiences in your lower chakras or things you went through in your early childhood up until about age 28 or 32, if you are above that age, those things are really impacting you and your ability to work with your third eye now. And you may have begun to experience things like headaches or sinus pressure or things that were coming on in your upper head that have caused a lot of problems for you. And this can represent a block in your third eye. And that often comes from your throat, because when we start to work on healing ourselves, sometimes we get stuck in the throat because we start to want to change the way we are projecting ourselves into the world. And so we start trying to speak different, but then we don't allow that to flow even more into the third eye. So in order to fully work with the third eye, we have to work with the rest of the energy system below that. We have to work with the root chakra and understand, did I have trauma before age 7? Did I have experiences before age 7 that need to be seen, healed, and felt and experienced? In the sacral chakra, did I have anything that caused me to hide myself, that I started to doubt my creativity? I started to not feel good enough in relationship. Did I have any struggles with puberty when I started to go through that between age 7 and 14? What was going on in my life at that time that may have impacted my energy field during the development of my sacral chakra? And then when you move up into your solar plexus at age 14, what was going on in your high school years? What was happening as you were getting ready to graduate high school? What were some things that you were being taught about who you are? Did you believe in yourself? Did you have confidence, or did you lack that? Did you feel like you didn't have people around you could rely on? Whatever was going on in those lower chakras before the age of 21 will be impacting above energy when you start to move with your third eye. All of this also connects up into your heart chakra and then moves into your throat and then your third eye. And so you can see, if you have blocks in your lower chakra, that will impact your third eye from fully opening and being able to work with the rest of your energy system, where you can have clear understanding, clear vision, clear seeing. Your abilities and spirituality can open. You can have clear understanding of who you are and what you're here to do on earth, your life purpose, the things that we're all trying to seek and learn, but we can't actually get there because we don't know ourselves fully. And to know ourselves fully, we have to go back through the experiences that developed who we are now and rewire some of those things and reprogram and teach ourselves the truth of who we are and not the things that we have been taught to believe about ourselves. Because we often walk around in the world believing that we have a certain identity that we were told to have instead of being the identity of our true, authentic, highest self, which is our soul version of ourself. Now, a lot of people want to blame the ego and put the ego down and try to rid ourselves of the ego, but the ego has played an important role in your life. And it has always kept you safe. If you are still here on earth, then your ego has done a good job at keeping you safe here on earth and protecting you, because your ego has given you warning system. Your ego has given you sensations, feelings. Even if those feelings were not always positive, that was your ego saying, hey, there's something going on here. We're going to protect you from whatever it is that causes this feeling. And then that's why it repeats that feeling over and over, because it wants to keep you safe. So what you have to do is you have to retrain the ego. You have to teach the ego that it's safe. You have to talk to the ego and love the ego. The more the ego feels safe and loved, the more nourished that you feel about your human self, the more self-love you develop, the better it is for you to start developing and moving towards opening up your abilities in your third eye and your spiritual connection. Now, the third eye is not strictly just for the spiritual connection. The third eye also gives you the vision of your true self. It allows you to see who you are through the reflection of your highest self, which gives you the ability to make decisions that will impact your life in a positive way. Now, those decisions are not always easy. They're not things that our ego enjoys doing, because sometimes when you really start to open that third eye, your vision changes and you start to see yourself different and you start to think, gosh, I would really like to be doing this with my life instead. I know for myself, when my experience started to change in my life, I knew that I was meant to be a spiritual healer and teacher, but getting there was difficult. My ego wanted to protect me every step of the way because it didn't understand that I would be safe once I stepped out and began to share my truth and be my authentic self. It had done a good job at protecting me. It had been taught all kinds of things about itself. It had believed things about God and spirituality that I had to retrain and reprogram. And the more I sent love to this part of myself, the more I went inward, the more I reflected on who I was, the more I saw my truth, the things that were not always easy to see about myself, the more I was able to calm that part of myself down to feel safe enough to allow me to step forward in a more authentically aligned version with my true highest self and find the soul alignment that I really truly desired. Now, this is something I will continue to be working on for a long time, and I want to continue to work on this. I think that we as humans want to believe that we won't have challenges at some point, and the reality of it is we're here to have challenges, and the challenges are what help us to grow. It helps our soul to grow. And so if I decide I'm done healing, if I decide that I'm done growing, then I have nothing else to live for. And so in many ways, I'm always allowing new things to come into my awareness where I can learn and grow. That way I can enhance and expand my wisdom and knowledge about my true self. Now, we can't become obsessed with our healing process in a way that that's all we do the rest of our life, because we do all have a mission and a purpose. And as you work through those first steps of healing, which in the first stages, you will be very focused just on your healing because you have to be in order to move forward. But as you work through that healing process and you step more into your authentic self and you see the true version of yourself, then you can begin to see the gifts that you possess and that you're here to share with the world. Whether that's some kind of an intuitive ability or a psychic ability, a healing ability, a teaching, maybe you're meant to be doing art, or maybe you're a good at baking, whatever that might be that brings you complete joy. That is what your third eye wants to guide you towards. And those who are meant to be in the spiritual realm, working with the spirit realm, communicating with spirits, bringing messages to earth, helping with new earth ascension, as you open this third eye, because you have worked through the rest of your energetic system, you're going to be able to have more clear visions and understanding about how to help humanity ascend and raise their vibration into the new earth energy and eventually move into 5D. So to open up your third eye, to open up this chakra, you must first work on all the other chakras. And I think a lot of people want to skip that part. And if you skip that part, it can be pretty detrimental for your experience, and you may not see things clearly. You may get dark visions, because if you have any darkness in your lower chakras, you're going to be projecting those energies into your third eye and maybe experience dark spirits, experience dark things as you open up the visions. And the reality of it is those things are made up because of our energy, because of the darkness that we hold in ourselves. So if you hear a spiritual teacher or somebody really projecting a lot of darkness out into the world, especially any type of healer, that is something that they need to go inward and see in themselves, to reflect that out, to see, what am I projecting that is darkness that I am seeing in myself. The ego wants to protect us. That's its job. The ego will cause us to see dark things because the ego has experienced dark things. But when you move into your true, authentic, and highest self, into your light body, into the lightness of your soul and your spirit, that darkness no longer is what controls you. It is your love. It's the frequency of joy. It's the frequency of peace. In order to have peace, we have to go inward. And peace always transforms our life, but we have to have peace in our chakras in order to change our lives. We cannot change our lives without first having peace in our energy. So my encouragement for you, if you're working on opening your third eye, is to work on the rest of your energy first, and then it will naturally begin to open. If that's something that you are interested in learning or experiencing, I do teach a 7-week program where I take people through their energetic system and help them to clear out all those energies that they may not see that are in their chakras. And I've had 100% success with every one of my clients that have done this so far. And so if that is something that you're interested in, go ahead and reach out to me. You're welcome to set up a consultation call with me. Or if you just want to do a reading with me, go ahead and schedule one of those. And I also am going to ask you if you could like this video and subscribe, and maybe share it with a friend that might need to hear this. That would be awesome as well, because I really am encouraging and wanting to help the collective energy raise in their vibration. And being able to get this information out will help more and more people to heal, so that we can move into New Earth and ascend together. Until we meet again, I wish you the best day, night, evening, whatever time it is for you. I send you all the universal love. Namaste.